Hey everyone, my name is Josh, and welcome back to High Five Church History. In our last video, we talked about the Apostle Paul, and the video before that one, we talked about the Apostle Peter. In other words, we're seeing the expansion of the early Christian church in the Mediterranean world. This expansion then is going to lead to the persecution of the early Christians. And in today's video, I'm going to give 3 reasons why the early church went under persecution. First is going to be because of widespread resentment. Second is going to be because of supposed intellectual inferiority. And third is going to be because of political turmoil. So let's look at that first point, starting with widespread resentment. Many natural disasters, such as floods and earthquakes, occurred in the Roman Empire. And many pagan Romans blamed the Christians for these occurrences. Why? Because they believed Christians were immoral people. And here are 6 reasons why they believed they were immoral. First, they believed that Christians were actually atheists because they had no idols. Second, they believed that Christians were cannibals because they ate the Lord's body and drank his blood during communion. At least that's what they heard. Third, they believed they were sensual and sexually immoral because Christians focused so much on love among the local church. Fourth, they believed Christians were practicing magic and sorcery during baptism and the Lord's Supper. Fifth, they resented Christians for not practicing the social norms of the day, such as glorifying human possessions or attending immoral shows and brutal contests. Sixth, some pagans resented Christians because Christians interfered with the manufacturing of idols or the raising of animals for pagan sacrifices. This is going to lead to supposed intellectual inferiority. Pagan philosophers, such as Celsus and Porphyro, attacked the Christian beliefs of the identity of Jesus as God, Jesus' miracles and resurrection, hell, heaven, the afterlife, and the authority of the Old and New Testaments. Now, these intellectual assaults by different pagan philosophers actually gives rise to the Christian apologists. These individuals, or these group of Christians, defended the authenticity of Christianity and its teachings, as well as clearing Christians of false accusations like sexual promiscuity, atheism, and cannibalism. So already we see widespread resentment, supposed intellectual inferiority, and last but not least, we're going to see political turmoil. Roman religion supported the state. People conquered by Rome could continue to worship their gods, but also had to worship Rome's gods and the emperor so that they would become and remain loyal citizens. Now the Jews, however, received exemption because of their fierce belief to worship only the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and because their religion had existed for thousands of years. Initially, Christianity was believed to be a subcategory of Judaism, but several decades after Christ's ascension, it became clear that Christians were different than Judaizers. So Christianity becomes illegal. In the mid to late AD 60s, Nero brings sweeping persecution to Christians. And this period of persecution led to the deaths of the apostles Peter and Paul. Let's jump ahead to AD 112, when the Emperor Trajan approved a national policy that Rome should not seek out Christians. But if upstanding Roman citizens presented a Christian to the government, that Christian had 3 opportunities to recant. If he did not, Rome would execute him for being rebellious to the state. This policy went on for more than a century. Now, the Roman Empire continued to decline since the reign of Caesar Augustus, also known as Octavian, who reigned from 27 BC to AD 14. Now, in AD 248, the 1000th anniversary of Rome's founding, the Emperor Decius sought to restore Rome to the glory days of Caesar Augustus, of Octavian, and he believed that Rome's gods were holding back their blessing because Christians continued to thrive in Rome. Consequently, he begins to zealously attack followers of Jesus, and Rome begins their most intense form of persecution against Christians. Up until the Emperor Diocletian, who retired in AD 305, Christians continued to face extreme persecution and even martyrdom for the faith, yet they continued to thrive. In today's video, we went over 3 reasons why early Christians faced persecution. First was because of widespread resentment. Second was supposed intellectual inferiority. And third was political turmoil. But the way that we can take this aspect of church history into our lives is to ask, how did Christianity continue to thrive even in the midst of all of this oppression? The answer to that is, the truth wins. In our culture today, there are a lot of pluralistic ideas. You can make up your own truth. The truth is whatever you want it to be. But with Christianity, that's not the case. That can't be the case. The teachings of Christ and the Bible themselves are objective truths. These early Christians continued to thrive, not only in a pluralistic society, but a persecuting society, because they knew that the truth of God was going to continue on even as they continued to be martyred, put in jail, and ostracized for their beliefs. This is a truth, and this is a lesson that we have to apply to us today. Thank you again for watching. I'm going to ask that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please leave your comments below. I can't wait to see you next week as we continue to high five church history.